And we Bet a Stadium in Stamford. AJ Simonowski has stepped up into the booth with me. I am Frank Granito, and we are ready for Game 2 of our semifinals doubleheader. If you are just joining us, Waterford took down Darien 9-0. They advance to the championship game tomorrow night at 7. Now we get set. National League winner New Milford, American League runner-up Stamford for Game 2. AJ, excited to have you up here, man.
Glad to be up here, Frank. Unfortunately, we didn't see a very good game earlier in the evening. Buzz around the stadium here tonight is that this one's going to be a little bit more competitive. I hope it is.
We're about an hour and 10 minutes behind schedule due to some inclement weather that rolled through here right around 5 o'clock. The grounds crew has been incredible tonight, getting the field ready for Game 1, putting it back together now for Game 2. While we've got a second, let's meet the starting lineups. New Milford is the visiting team. Let's see how they'll be batting. Leading off, it's the second baseman, number 23, Nick Storino. Then you've got the catcher, number 8, Nick Bontempo. Number 77, Ian Cook, the third baseman, will bat third. First baseman, Jack Hayes, bats fourth in the cleanup spot. Number 28, Peter Caniglio. He's the left fielder. He's batting fifth. Then the pitcher, number 7, Patrick Gilbert. They've got the extra hitter. The only team we have seen tonight using the extra hitter spot, it's number 24, John Fitzmaurice. Number 3, Sergey Holcomb. He'll play right field and bat 8th. Kyle Beebe, number 4, the left fielder, bats 9th. And rounding it out, the shortstop, number 34, Jack Zigarelli. AJ, what is Stamford going with in the field?
Nobody out on the field yet, Frank, but when the Stamford team does take the field, here's how they're going to play. Jaden Dawkins will man right for Stamford. Mason Masterson plays in first. Todd Gutman will handle left. Jay Lockwood will be your first baseman for the Stamford team. Tucker Healy at second. Matt Jester at third. David Colasso at the keystone. He will play short. Behind the dish, Ben Nash, and throwing for Stamford, the Thunder, Calvin McKeever.
And this will be the fourth matchup on the year between Stamford and New Milford. We had Coach... We had Coach Tom Pierce from Stamford up during the last game. He talked with us a little bit. He talked about how they know each other very well. You've got the only undefeated team. You've got the host team. They've seen each other a lot. What are you expecting in tonight's game?
I'm expecting a really competitive game. New Milford has really rolled through their side of pool play, coming out at 3-0. Stamford with a little bit tougher run of it, but they come through at 2-1, losing the top spot on I think what must have been the third or fourth tiebreaker to runs allowed on a day that has a T in it, something like that. These teams have seen each other a bunch of times, as you alluded to. The more you see another team in any sport, the more you're going to know them, what they can do, the kind of talent that they bring offensively and defensively. I think we're in for a good one.
They're only 13 years old, and the stadium is not as packed as you might expect it to be. Does home field advantage play a role for Stamford here tonight?
I think it does to some degree, but not a huge one. Stamford has likely played on this very field before at some point, either in Little League or in a practice here. They know the sight lines. They know how the ball flies. Those things aren't always game breakers, but when you know them, it's one less thing to think about.
We can see on the sideline right now there is a lot of size for New Milford's. Coach Pierce alluded to Stamford being more of a speedy team. We are going to step aside, AJ, take a quick break. When we come back, we'll talk about the size versus speed matchup, how it works on the big field. But let's step aside here on the HAN Network. Game 2 of our doubleheader coming up right after this.
Have a sports injury or a slip and fall that needs immediate care? Coastal Ortho Express Urgent Care gives you direct access to an orthopedic specialist fast, without an appointment. Biking, golf, tennis, soccer, whatever the sports injury is, sprain or fracture, Coastal Ortho Express can help. Coastal Ortho Express Urgent Care, open Monday through Saturday, now in 2 locations. The iPark building at 761 Main Avenue in Norwalk and 36 Old Kings Highway South in Darien. Or go to coastalorthoexpress.com, like them on Facebook.
watching the HAN Network, and you're not alone. Nearly 1 million people have watched our live sports, news, and entertainment programming since the network launched in August 2015. Advertise on the network that reaches Fairfield County, Connecticut's most engaged audience. Contact Advertising Director Jessica Murrin at 203-273-7312 or email jessica@han.network.
And we welcome you back to the HAN Network's live coverage of the 2016 Connecticut 13 and under Babe Ruth State Championship Tournament.
That's a mouthful.
Oh, it is. It has been a tough week trying to get that one right every time. Game 2 of our doubleheader. Again, Waterford knocked off Darien in Game 1, 9-0. They return to the finals with a chance to repeat as state champions. AJ, we saw in that first game how big a difference the big field plays. And if players are able to hit the gap or put balls over outfielders' head, it's a whole different game. Coach Pearson says they've got speedy outfielders out there. There are some pretty big bats in this new Milford lineup. Which side do you favor right now?
Right now, I would actually have to give the edge to Stamford. The more ground you can cover in this expanse of an outfield, the better off you're going to be tracking down some of those balls. Now, if it gets over your head, it's over your head. There's not a whole lot you can do. But you can get to the ball, you can get it back in, turn what could be a triple into just a double, hold a short double to a single. That's where I think is going to come more into play. But the bigger the bat, the further you can hit it.
And it'll be interesting to see how the lights play a factor if any balls get high up there, if they're up above that sight line, how the outfielders handle it off that. And, of course, the difference in the mound. There's an extra 15 feet compared to what we saw in districts. That's an extra second almost when you put it all together for these kids at the plate to ball.
It is. And we saw in the first game that both teams were really getting the going very far because, you know, as we've talked about, these are still young kids. They're growing into themselves and still some of them learning how to play the game. I think the size of the field comes more into play in terms of fielding. You see, the fielders have a little bit more for them, which they may not be used to.
It's been an exciting tournament, an exciting day. Again, a special thanks to all of the staff members here at Coupetta and with Babe Ruth who have made this such a great experience for us. We cannot wait to come back tomorrow. But more importantly, we can't wait for this one to start. The home team, the number 1 team in the tournament. This is going to be hopefully the game it is hyped up to be. Storino will be the leadoff hitter. You've got McKeever on the bump for Stamford. What's funny is, and we were talking with a guy who knows this Stamford team very well. He works with the tournament. Apparently, the big arm on this staff is David Colazzo, and we have not seen that arm all tournament. And they're surprised they're not.
Choice if race, you might want to get him going, but if you're Stamford and you've got the confidence in McKeever to get you through this game, you save your ace for tomorrow night. This is why we're not managers, Frank. These are the decisions they have to make.
We have got our backs all these decisions until the break of dawn. As Storino steps into the box, McKeever works from the windup. Game 2 is underway, and the first pitch is a ball down low in the dirt. Umpire crew stays the same. Chris Lyons behind the dish, Paul DiMartino, and Tom Byrne out in the field. As the 1-0 pitch is delivered for a strike, the count 1-1. Storino still yet to take a swing. And AJ, the field you have to say it again, the field looks absolutely unbelievable after another great job from the grounds crew. As this one is cut on and fouled back, 1-2 the count.
It really does, Frank. You would not believe that just a few hours ago the sky was as black as it is now. It looked like the world was ending.
It is absolutely beautiful out right now. 78 degrees, not a cloud in the sky, and almost no humidity. A perfect night for baseball. The 1-2 pitch sails high on him, and the count now 2-2. Despite being the higher team coming out of the tournament, it was a coin toss that determined the home seed. Stamford won that toss and will have the last at-bat if it is necessary in the 7th inning as our first batter of the game sees the count run full.
It's a little bit of an oddity in terms of tournament placing. Usually the high seed is given the home field advantage, but not so in this tournament.
And I like that, though, because each game the home team was determined by a coin toss. As this one, well laid on is Storino, cut on and missed. Strike 3, and there's one away as McKeever strikes out the leadoff batter. And that was just power versus power. Beat him with a fastball right down the middle.
Definitely. And McKeever's location so far has been almost exactly what he wants it to be. Ball 2 was a little bit high. You don't want to read a whole lot into 5 pitches so far, but it looks like he's got good stuff at the moment.
So that brings up Nick Bontempo, the catcher, as McKeever deals from the windup. Down low again, so he starts off 1-0, trailing Bontempo. Tempo way back in the batter's box, almost on that back chalk line. As the 1-0 is a grounder to the left side of the infield. Scooped up at short, fires over to first. Nice stretch. In time, they got him. That's that big arm David Collazo we were talking about, and that's a tough throw for a young kid to make.
And Frank, like I was alluding to, I think the size of the field here plays a factor in that play. The ball's able to get a little bit deeper to short. He's got to make a faster, higher throw than these kids are used to and able to get on tempo as he's coming down the line.
And it's one of those balls on the smaller field. It gets to you quicker. He's not used to having to charge that slow-rolling ball. Give credit to Bontempo hustling down the line, but a great play by Collazo and a tremendous stretch from Lockwood. So now we see Cook, the number 3 hitter and the third baseman, as a breaking ball goes in for strike 1. Cook down 0-1.
Very good breaking ball. Not quite a curve, probably a slider, but right over the plate, and Cook could just do nothing with it.
Cook, one of the bigger bats in this lineup for New Milford. One of the taller players in this tournament, too, is this one. Handcuffs him right there. Slow roller down the line. Lockwood fields. He'll tag. Cook, and that'll end the inning as Cook lost his footing there going down the line. So 3 up, 3 down. It took just 7 pitches at the end of half. It is still 0-0. The Thunder coming to bat on the HAN network.
For more than 50 years, Triple S has been Fairfield County's expert service for carpet, upholstery, and drapery cleaning. We provide the best in repairs and in-depth restoration, understanding fabrics and how to properly clean and restore them. Our staff will come to your home to clean your wall-to-wall carpet to perfection. We can also pick up your fine carpets and bring them to our facilities. With locations in Norwalk, Stamford, and Stratford, Triple S will get the job done fast, big or small. At Triple S, you can count on our people as well as our cleaning. Find us at triplesclean.com or 203-847-8000.
I'm John Kovach. I'm a newspaper editor. I'm a high school football coach. I'm a television presenter. And I want you to love fishing as much as I do. Tune into Yankee Fisherman, Thursdays at 1 on the HAN network. It's like going to the tackle shop without leaving your office.
Give your day a jumpstart with the latest news, sports, weather, and more on Coffee Break, live on the HAN network, weekdays at 11 a.m. Connecticut news doesn't get any more local than on Coffee Break.
And we are back here on the HAN network. AJ Simonowski and Frank Granito coming to you live from Bobby Darling Field at Kubetta Stadium in Stamford, Scalzi Park. At the bottom of the first, it'll be Stamford coming to the plate in a 0-0 game. Credit to McKeever. He retired the side 1-2-3 with relative ease in the top half, AJ.
Definitely the kind of start you want to see from your pitcher. Strikes out the first batter, is able to induce a ground out to short on the second batter, and then a fastball comes in high, and Cook was able to fight it off, but just gets a little bit of a roller down first. He's tagged out to end the inning.
Definitely jammed him there as he hit one off what looked to be the knob of the bat, or at least right around the handle. So leading off for Stamford, it's Ben Nash, the catcher, as this pitch is a strike from the hand of Patrick Gilbert. And on the grass, maybe expecting bunt as this one cut on, fouled back, and caught in the trees, almost caught a fan at the concession stand there.
Everybody appears to be okay.
Don't forget, it is National Hot Dog Day. If you haven't had a Frank yet, Should get on that quickly as this one sails up high. And in case you were wondering, we are offering a promotion of Franks with Frank. If you bring a hot dog up to the booth right now, we'll put you on air and you can eat one with me. 1-2 count here. Nash, the first batter for Stamford in the bottom of the first. As this one fouled back in that same direction, and it'll make it all the way through the trees this time.
And Nash is getting good swings on these pitches. He's just a little bit late fouling them off.
1-2, Gilbert from the windup. There's the pitch. Just missing down low. As you can hear the oohs and ahs.
Me from here, but
that one runs up high, and so a full count now. As Gilbert's got to work to fight back in charge here.
as with any sporting event in any part of the world, the officials have the final say, not us.
3-2 pitch fouled off. So we'll do it again here as we await the 8th pitch of this at-bat to the leadoff hitter, Ben Nash. Pitch from Gilbert. Down low, and Nash has earned himself a walk. So a good at-bat for the leadoff man, and the old saying goes, any way you can to get on base right there.
Exactly what you want him to do. Work the count, see as many pitches as you can, not only for himself, but for the guys behind him, and ultimately get on base.
So Nash, with the leadoff walk, sits on first. Gilbert wasting no time, dealing to Dawkins, the right fielder, as that pitch in there for a strike. Our director, Eric Gendron, pointing out the use of the two-seam and four-seam fastball as Nash is going. Throw down to second, not in time. He slides in safely under the tag. Well done on the base path from Nash.
And really, it must be said, an excellent throw from Nick Bontempo, just a hair late. One of the better throws we've seen from a catcher so far today. The distance playing a factor yet again.
And it was a good job to get it down there. That last pitch was a ball down low. So the count 1-1. We'll see what Coach Pierso does with Dawkins. Showing bunt, and he goes all the way. Right to the mound. Nash now works to third. He'll advance the runner. Well done by Jaden Dawkins on the sac bunt.
Perfectly executed. Deadens the ball. A little bit more towards the pitcher than you want to see, but it's far enough. He's able to draw everyone in, gets the runner over to third.
And a really good job by Nash on the base path. You saw him take about a quarter way off the bag, made sure that the throw was going from Gilbert to first, put his head down, made it to third. So now you've got a runner on third, one out here with Jay Lockwood, the big first baseman, coming up to bat. He wastes no time. A big cut there, fouling one back to the mat.
Frank, I have to admit, I was writing down on my scorecard here. From where I'm standing, I cannot see the batter, but boy, I heard that swing.
Lockwood, another member of this Thunder team who we expect to see pitch at some point this weekend should they make it to tomorrow night, as that just missed for a ball. 1-1 the count. Nash on third. Lockwood at the dish. And Gilbert on the mound, working from the stretch and working quickly. This one ripped out to center field. It's a routine catch, but it is deep enough that it should score Nash as the throw is cut off. So two sacrifice plays, and a run is across the board for the first one of the game as Stamford takes a 1-0 lead here in the bottom of the first.
And that ball was an absolute rocket off of the bat of Lockwood. Deep enough, it actually sends the center fielder, Peter Caniglio, back just a little bit. But there was nothing that was going to prevent that run from scoring.
And there is a big dirt patch as this one is roped out to right field, a fair ball. David Collazo, the shortstop, comes right back with a single of his own, wasting no time on the first pitch. But there's about a dirt track roughly 20, 30 yards out into the outfield. Caniglio is playing behind that. I thought that ball was going to be well over his head when he first stood there.
So did I. It just had that kind of velocity coming off of the barrel.
So Collazo stands on first after the single. Gilbert deals into Masterson. The runner goes. Throw down to second. Could be in time. Oh, what a good slide. And AJ, we had a great view of it from here. The throw was there, the tag was down, but Collazo perfectly goes around the bag, catches a piece of it, then reach back to stay safe.
Sent most of his body out to the right side of the bag, just able to slide his left arm in underneath it. That is a great slide.
And you can see now how aggressive this Stamford team wants to be on the base path. They want to test these catchers with these longer throws. As this pitch in there for a strike, the count 1-1 to Mason Masterson, the center fielder. Collazo on second. Good speed out there. A base hit should be able to score him. Gilbert checks the runner a couple times, working from the stretch. Goes towards the dish. That one just a little high up there. And it's a ball, 2-1 the count. Fifth batter of the inning. One run already across. This one to Masterson. Up high again. 3-1 the count now.
Will be a little bit out of hand for him.
3-1 the count. Collazo on second. Masterson at the dish. That one just in there for a strike. So a full count here with 2 outs in the bottom of the first, and the Thunder on top 1-0. And here's the payoff pitch. Just missed on the outside corner, ball 4. So we'll have first and second with the left fielder, Todd Gutman, stepping up to the plate.
And that's the second walk for Gilbert in the inning. The opposite of what we saw from McKeever, really not how you want to begin the game.
So Collazo stands on second, Masterson on first, Gutman at the dish, and Gilbert working with 2 outs. Checks the runners, and time is called after what was a long stare down to the plate. Gilbert resets from the stretch towards the dish, fouled off. As the count runs 0-1 to Gutman. And a big difference right now between Gilbert and McKeever. McKeever threw 10 pitches in that first inning. Gilbert already working his way up towards 20.
Which is certainly not, really just not what you want to see. Obviously, the fewer pitches you can get away with.
As this one, a grounder into the hole as third base was hugging the bag tightly. They're waving the runner home. He fell down. He's got to hurry to get back. And Collazo there in time. Ian Cook was hugging the bag tightly, anticipating the steal there, and a great piece of hitting from Gutman as he goes right through the third base hole.
And credit to Collazo, actually able to get back. He had rounded third and looked like he was heading in for home, got the stop sign, and has to scramble back to third. Otherwise, he would have been dead to rights.
They had sent him home. He lost his footing, went down. It was a great throw in from Kyle Beebe in left field. He hooked Cook right away, and Collazo had to hustle to scurry back to the bag before Cook could apply a tag. So Gilbert still working from a jam here. Matt Jester, the third baseman, steps up to the plate. The bases are loaded. 2 outs here in the first. He goes back to the windup as Gilbert looks to escape trouble. Here's the pitch. That one sails up high, and the count 1-0. And the 1-0 pitch as Gilbert towards the dish. That one in there for a strike, the count 1-1. And I like that Gilbert has consistently worked quickly. Even if it seems like it's uncomfortable, he's done it from the start of the inning, so he's staying true to himself, it appears. Here's the 1-1 pitch. That one cut on and fouled back, and up to a 1-2 count now.
As a pitcher, you want to get yourself into some kind of a rhythm, good or bad. He receives the ball, he gets back on the mound, takes a minute to collect himself, gets the signal, throws the ball. You want to just keep moving that way. You do that, good things are going to happen for you.
Here's the 1-2 pitch. That one cut on and fouled off again. And credit this Stamford lineup because they are forcing Gilbert to throw a lot of pitches right now.
Which is what you want to do. If you can't hit the ball in play, you want to make the pitcher work. The more he works, the sooner you get into their relief pitchers.
1-2 count. Bases loaded, 2 outs here in the bottom of the first. Gilbert's pitch to the plate. Gets away outside. Off-speed stuff there, and the count now 2-2. Ben Nash led off the inning with a walk. After a sacrifice bunt and a sacrifice fly, he crossed the plate to make it 1-0. We've seen several singles since then. As the bases are now loaded. This one is hit out to center field. Caniglio underneath it. Should be an easy play. He puts it away to end the inning. 2 walks, 2 singles, 1 run, and they strand 3 at the end of the first inning. It's 1-0 Stamford. New Milford coming back right after this on the HAN Network.
Warm weather, light breezes, boats are in the water. There's no better place to celebrate summer than the Dock Shop. Whether in Darien at 51 Tokenique Road or at 609 River, the newest fishing tackle, the Dock Shop will help you get the most out of your next beach day or harbor cruise. At the Dock Shop, you'll find a wonderful selection of items made in the USA and right here in New England, all with a distinct nautical flair. Boater, beach bum, fisherman, or simply love the coastal lifestyle, this is a unique place to shop. DockShop.com.
Mosquitoes, ticks, gone. Guaranteed. That's what Mosquito Squad guarantees as America's most trusted mosquito and tick control company. Locally owned and operated, over 90,000 homes have been protected by Mosquito Squad using their dual protection method for season-long protection, which includes barrier spray service for eliminating mosquitoes and adult ticks, as well as supplemental programs to increase tick control. They use only USDA organic options, which are safe and non-toxic. Contact them today at www.squadctny.com or 203-893-4309. Mosquito Squad. No bugs, no bites, no kidding.
And we're back here on the HAN Network. Frank Granito and AJ Simonowski coming to you live from Kubetta Stadium in Stamford, Connecticut. AJ, at the end of one, it's 1-0 in favor of Stamford.
Were you just on Snapchat?
Of course I'm on Snapchat. Social media, man. Get with it.
I'm on social media.
At least I wasn't playing Pokemon Go.
That is a fair point.
That's going to be later on around the 6th, 7th inning stretch. So 1-0 is the score. Stanford strikes, playing a little bit of small ball, but they leave the bases loaded. So good to get out of that inning. It'll be Jack Hayes, the first baseman, leading it off for New Milford. McKeever threw only 10 pitches in that first inning. He has yet. Infield is all back, and the first pitch of the second. A big curveball in there. Just missed.
Wow. I am surprised that didn't catch more of the plate. That was how you throw a curveball.
Oh, it was, and it had Hayes buckling at the knees as he almost ducked out of the box. So McKeever from the windup. Here's the 1-0 pitch. And the count now 2-0. Perfect night here at Scalzi Park in Stamford. The storm has broken the heat wave as the 2-0 pitch bounced into the plate. Count now 3-0. It's McKeever at risk of losing Hayes, but not a cloud in the sky. Perfect night for baseball, AJ.
It really is.
So the 3-0 pitch from McKeever, taking all the way, was Hayes, and that one's in there for a strike.
And that's exactly what you got to do. You're down 3-0 in the count. You've got to throw a strike. If he takes it, great. If he hits it, if he fouls it off, whatever. You got to get the ball over the plate.
And just in this situation, too, you think about McKeever throwing only 10 pitches in the first inning. Unlikely any coach will give the green light at this stage of the game, force him to throw more pitches, as this one lost outside away from the catcher. So Hayes walks. That's the first base runner of the game for New Milford. And it'll bring up the center fielder, Peter Caniglio, who was on the receiving end of several fly balls in the bottom half of the first. McKeever checks the runner. From the stretch, goes to the dish. That pitch in there for a strike right around the numbers.
Excellent recovery after he walks the leadoff man. Comes right back, throws a strike ahead in the count. Only one, but you got to start with one.
But it's a walk to the leadoff man that we saw several wild pitches, and you come back and it was a good pitch right down the heart of the plate there. Caniglio ducking down with that one as it's a ball in the dirt. The 1-1 pitch. McKeever to Caniglio, high and inside, a ball. 2-1 the count.
Just making sure Caniglio's awake.
It's your home field. Lay claim to that plate right now. 2-1 the count here in the top of the second. Runner on first, nobody out. Caniglio at the plate. That pitch down low again, so the count now 3-1. McKeever at risk of walking the first two batters.
And if you want to see what a pitcher is made of, you see how he reacts in this situation.
3-1 pitch. Round the heart of the plate, and that one is lined in between the gap at short and third. No throw from left field as Gutman fields. Check to second, but yet the shortstop favoring the bag again, weary of the steal, and a good piece of hitting from Caniglio as he picks up the first hit of the game for New Milford, and just like that, there are runners on first and second with nobody out, and the pitcher, Patrick Gilbert, steps up to the plate now.
And though it goes against Stamford, goes down as a hit, that's the kind of pitch you want to see from McKeever. He's down 3-1. You got to come back, throw a strike. He did.
And he comebacks again and throws another strike here at the start of this at-bat. And, AJ, it was a good pitch, too. You could hear that Caniglio didn't hit it as solid as he would have liked. He had to fight that one off, and that was a 3-1 pitch that jammed him. 0-1 count. That one inside, and it gets him. So Gilbert hit by the pitch. And now the bases are loaded with nobody out here in the top of the second.
And as we've seen already so far in the second, McKeever is living a bit inside. That one just got away from him a little bit.
So bases loaded. Nobody out. Here's your extra hitter in the lineup, John Fitzmaurice. Cut on, fouled off, and it rolls towards the Stamford on deck circle. So the count 1-0 to Fitzmaurice.
He was trying to make it 4-0 on that swing.
And it's very interesting. We've seen now all four teams remaining play today, and this is the only team that is using the extra hitter opportunity.
I had actually thought it was an error on the scorecard, and I was just going to kind of go with it, but extra hitter it is.
You are allowed an extra hitter in the tournament. You cannot, however, use a designated hitter. The 0-1 to Fitzmaurice sails up high, and stuck on third is Hayes. And AJ, this is where, as McKeever's a little wild here now in the second inning, that short bat stock comes into play. It can hit that wall, stop, and it's an easy play for the catcher and pitcher. There's a little bit of an angle, though. It could kick hard right, and you'll be in trouble.
And that's all. It all the kind of pitch, how it's being thrown. Anything could happen once it gets past the catcher.
Here's up in the zone. So the count now 1-2 to Fitzmaurice as McKeever finally finds himself with an advantage here in the second inning. Fitzmaurice stares it down. Here's the 1-2 from McKeever. Up high again, Fitzmaurice chases. And that's the first out of the inning as McKeever picks up strikeout number 2. Good job working the top of the zone right there in that at-bat.
That's how you want to come back. You've allowed you've had a walk, a single, and a hit by pitch. You got bases loaded, nobody out. You have to get this man out. And McKeever is able to do it.
Sergey Holcomb, the right fielder now, steps up to the plate. 1 out, base is still loaded. The corners are in, the middle is tight. As that one, a strike on the outside corner. Middle infielders play double play depth, and you've got both corners up on the grass. McKeever still working from the stretch. Here's the 0-1 pitch. That one grounded to the right side. Fielded. They'll come home with it. Nice play there. They'll get the lead out. Well done by Lockwood on the first base side. Chose to go home, guarantee themselves of one out and prevent the run versus trying to turn two against the speedy Holcomb.
Pretty much anywhere you're going to go on the diamond, that play is going to result in an out. You take the one at home, keep the run off the board.
So you can score a fielder's choice for Holcomb as he reaches base. Hayes is taken out on the first base catcher put out. And that brings up Kyle Beebe, the left fielder now, the number 9 hitter in the order. 2 outs. Base is still loaded. This one poked out to right field. Will it stay fair? No. Jaden Dawkins was playing a little deep right there, and that one looked like it might have just been blooping in, but it just tailed off foul.
Dangerous, dangerous ball. A couple feet further to the left, that's several runs.
So Beebe aggressive from the get-go at this at-bat. 0-1 the count, 2 outs, bases loaded. McKeever from the stretch. And he throws some gas upstairs that Beebe can't catch up to.
I think that ball was on the way back to McKeever by the time Beebe struck at it. That thing was moving.
And it looked as though Beebe got up there, felt confident after that first swing, and a little overconfident as he chases one upstairs. McKeever 0-2, plenty of room to work with. So 0-2 the count. McKeever stares down the plate, checks the runner at third, and now works from the stretch. This one struck him out swinging. Threw him some junk that tailed off to the outside. He loads the bases to start and then comes back 1-2-3. 1 hit, 2 walks, 2 strikeouts, and at the end of 1.5, it's still 1-0 Stamford as they come to the dish in the bottom of the second here on the HAN Network.
I really wanted something that felt like a home. Coming from a big house, I wanted the feel of a home as opposed to a condo. The construction is incredible, whether it's the floors, the fireplace, the moldings, the lighting. It's as peaceful as my home was in the middle of the woods. It feels like a house. It does not feel like a condo or a townhome. I feel like I'm in my house.
Keep your future star active and happy this summer at Future Stars Sports Academy camps and clinics. The Academy is offering sessions throughout Fairfield County. Sign up for a week of basketball, cheerleading, football, or a multi-sports camp. At Future Stars Academy, children learn the fundamentals while under the supervision of qualified coaches. And what sets the Academy apart is its special Lessons of Life sessions, teaching values and focusing on building self-esteem, friendships, and honesty. Located at Sports Center, Connecticut in Shelton and in Sports in Trumbull. Register online at FutureStarsSportsAcademy.com.
And we welcome you back here on the HAN Network. We are jamming out to some Michael Jackson up in the press box here. 1-0 the score. Stamford on top of New Milford. And Calvin McKeever just beat it to get out of that inning there.
If you're going to go with a tortured Michael Jackson reference, that's the one you have to go with. Loads the bases, comes back, gets a force at home, and strikes out the final batter of the inning to escape the jam. Only 1 hit, still no runs. That is huge.
I know corners were in as this inning starts off with Calvin McKeever, the pitcher, at the dish. And he takes the first pitch for a ball. But again, we had the corners up on the grass. He had to move to his right to stop that one as this one from Gilbert well outside. Stop it, field, fire home to get the force out. And it was really a smart play versus trying to force a double play at that stage of the inning.
Given how far he had come onto the infield grass, the play was to go home. He could have conceivably gotten the double play, but there's just more variable there. Take the board.
Let's talk about the other side of it now as Gilbert works from the windup for the 2-0 pitch, and that one in there for a strike. You're New Milford. You strand the bases loaded, but you come back after going 1-2-3 in the first. You get to him. You get to McKeever. He had to throw 23 pitches that inning. You force him to be a little sporadic as the 2-1 pitch is cut on and fouled back. And that one is off the bird cage.
Birdhouse camera still looks to be okay. That's the important thing.
So the 2-2 pitch, Gilbert from the windup. Fought off, grounded down the first base line. Foul ball, and we will do it again. But so what is New Milford feeling right now, AJ, after getting to McKeever a little bit but not being able to score?
I think they're actually feeling okay. They're disappointed they didn't get anything across, but you're only down 1-0. It's just the bottom of the second.
And that off-speed pitch fought off again to short. Charging there, fires to first. Plenty of time. Well done from Jack Zegarelli as McKeever is retired, and there is one away. And AJ, contrary to what we saw from Collazo in the first inning, Zegarelli charging that one, gets it on the grass, and it gives him a lot more time to throw to first.
That's exactly how you make that play. That's how the big boys do it. You need to come in, you need to see the ball, make a quick exchange with yourself, and get it over to first as fast as possible. That's how you do it.
So standing in there now for Stamford is the second baseman, Tucker Healy, as Gilbert delivers a strike, and the count is 0-1.
And after the first inning that Gilbert had, we were kind of wondering how he would respond as the pitch is in for now the second strike, down, up 0-2 on Healy. This is exactly how you want him to respond. He's throwing strikes.
And he looks very confident doing it as the 0-2 pitch throws one up high. Not taking the bait was Healy, so the count 1-2. We can still see a couple Waterford players lurking around, doing some scouting. Plenty of Stamford fans as that one runs inside. Healy quickly dodging out of the way.
Looked for a second like it might have gotten a piece of him, but nobody else seems to think that.
I'm sure someone on the bench telling him they've got ice. It's okay. As this one fought off to right center, and that's going to drop for a base hit. Good hitting from Healy there as he takes a turnaround first. Retreats back to the bag, and the second baseman on with the first hit of the second inning.
And Frank, while we have been talking about the dimensions of the park and just the size of everything, that's going to fall in for a hit just about anywhere inside that Bermuda Triangle of second, center field, and right. No one is getting to that ball unless you're Barry Allen.
And you can see how deep the outfielders are playing. They almost feel naturally like they have to be playing it at a normal depth, and that little bloop single is going to work so much more now compared to that little field. And honestly, if you misplay it, it really could lead to a double quickly.
It certainly could. You keep the ball in front of you. That's the most important thing. You can see it. You can see the runner. Keep it to a single.
So we're back to the top of the order. Nash at the dish. Healy off first. We'll see how the Stamford coaches approach this with one down. You've got a little bit of speed on the bag. Nash, who walked in the first inning. As Gilbert deals quickly to the plate, that one runs inside, and the count 1-1.
As we get a visit from executive producer Marty Hersom, wondering where the window of the press box here has gone. As Nash takes a healthy cut on that, down 1-2.
I think we've added a new dimension to this stadium because this is an unbelievable view right now from where we are.
The dimension, of course, being that we can actually see the game.
The double tinted window combo was a little tough, especially late in the day here, as this pitch sails well up high. So the count now 2-2 to Nash with one away and Healy on first. Stamford a little more passive this inning on the base path as Nash gets set. The lefty staring down Gilbert. 7 versus 7 as this one popped up along the third base line. Plenty of room over there for Cook. Makes the catch, and there's 2 away.
Cook was looking like he had a little bit of trouble actually finding that ball. Drifted toward the line, then back, then over third. Finally does make the play, but I think the lights may have gotten to him in that case.
I think the lights got to him a little bit, and it looked like he peeked down and was trying to locate the bag so he wasn't going to trip on it. And I think he might have lost it a little bit in the transition there. Nevertheless, a big play, and that brings up Dawkins, who we saw sacrifice bunt last time. And the first pitch to him outside 1-0 with 2 down in the inning. Healy still on first. He's taken healthy leads. He's gotten a good jump. No sign of stealing yet. No checks from the Gilbert or the catcher. This one outside. And asking for time is Bontempo as they're going to talk things over with a count 2-0.
No matter what level of baseball you're playing, from Little League all the way up to the majors and beyond, should there be such a thing, pitcher and catcher have got to be on the same page. If they're not, it's just not going to work.
So the count 2-0 to Dawkins. The right fielder, number 2 hitter in the order. Is this one a strike on the outside corner?
And we see what happens when pitcher and catcher are on the same page. Good things happen.
2-1 the count. Healy takes a jump off first. Gilbert looking for the sign. Now checks over at Healy on first. Working from the stretch, quickly to the dish. Leaning down there but laying off was Dawkins, and the count moves to 3-1.
And a murmur of displeasure from the New Milford fans below us.
2 outs in the count, 3-1. Gilbert trying to get out of the second inning unscathed. Going is the runner. That one's up high. It is in for a strike, so this would be a... And they got him. Pitch was a strike on a 3-1 count. Healy left out to dry, slid past the bag, apply the tag, and Gilbert escapes the inning with no runs allowed.
However it happens, that's the result you want. It looked to me like Healy had made it. As I said before, the umpire makes the decision, not me.
We'll step aside here at the end of 2, though. Stamford 1, New Milford nothing. New Milford coming to bat in the top of the third right after this.
What's happening up in Hartford and what's trending in the Nutmeg State?
Join Kate Chaplinsky
And Josh Fisher.
on CT Pulse live Wednesdays at 12:30 to find out.
We talk to the leaders and newsmakers while breaking down the stories you should be paying attention to each week.
With the help of HAN's editorial cartoonist Doug Smith, we take a humorous look at the news of the week. We talk about everything you were told you should avoid bringing up in polite company.
CT Pulse, Wednesdays at 12:30 on the HAN Network.
When it comes to local entertainment, we've got it all.
From movies, local artists, etiquette, and more.
Watch HAN Arts and Leisure every Thursday at 2 on the HAN Network.
I'm Denise DiGregoli, the host of The Drive on the HAN Network. Join me Tuesdays for some motivational, intelligent talk with a little humor as we visit with people who live their lives mindfully. Tune in to The Drive live on Tuesdays, 12:30, here on the HAN Network.
Give your day a jumpstart with the latest news, sports, weather, and more on Coffee Break, live on the HAN Network, weekdays at 11 a.m. Connecticut news doesn't get any more local than on Coffee Break.
And we are back here at Kubetta Stadium at Stamford Scalzi Park, Bobby Darling's Field. And what a great night it is. At the end of 2, we head to the top of the third. New Milford with a 1-0 lead. And AJ, we go back to the last play. Healy caught stealing. It looked like he had slid around the tag. Thought he might have let go of the base there.
I thought that Healy had made it in. Both yourself and Eric Gendron confirmed, more or less, that as he did slide past the base, may have let go with it a little bit. That is what the umpire saw. Healy's thrown out.
So it'll be Jack Zegarelli, the number 10 hitter and shortstop, leading off the inning for New Milford as McKeever throws one down low, and the count moves to 1-0. Here's the pitch from McKeever, a ball inside. Count now 2-0 to Zigarelli. And you go back to the last inning, Zigarelli made that play at short. I thought you put it best. That's a play the big boys make, and he made it look like he's a big boy.
He really did. And if he's that comfortable making that kind of a play and throw at this level, he's going to be just fine the further he gets into baseball, as this one is way outside, 3-0.
And so McKeever struggling again with the first batter here in the third inning. He did walk Hayes to start the second, as he has fallen behind 3-0 to Zigarelli. And the 3-0 pitch, another ball inside. So leads off the inning with a walk, as we have a runner on first, and we now see the top of the order for the second time tonight As strutting up to the plate is Nick Storino, the second baseman. We'll see what they do with the lefty at the dish.
And this is becoming something of a pattern thus far for McKeever. He took Storino to a full count and then struck him out in the first, and then got to a 3-ball count and eventually a walk to Hayes in the last inning. Now a walk to Zigarelli. Not how you want to start an inning, throwing that many pitches.
10 pitches in the first, 23 in the second for McKeever as the bunt is laid down the third baseline. Well done there. The throw to first, plenty of time as Lockwood fields off the throw from Jester. So we anticipate the sacrifice bunt. It's well executed. Zigarelli moves to second. Storino heads back to the bench after doing his job.
And that is how you lay down a sacrifice bunt. Deaden it towards third base, get the runner over. You give yourself up. Obviously, it's a sacrifice, but that is how you do it.
So McKeever dealing to the dish, and this pitch a strike to Bontempo. So 1 out, runner on second, the number 2 hitter and catcher up at the plate. McKeever steps off, checks back to Zigarelli. This one is lined out to center field. Giving chase there is Masterson. He makes the catch. No advance from Zigarelli, and quickly now there are 2 away after Bontempo flies out.
And you're starting to see, again, I hate to repeat myself, the dimensions of the field come into play. The ball is not carrying really much deeper than any of the outfielders are playing. We had that hit in the first inning that looked like it was about to go over the center fielder's head, did not. They're not getting the power.
Is this one a hanging curve that stays high to Cook for a ball? And it is. It's good contact again. It was well struck, and it's hit on a line, but the outfield just playing very, very deep compared to what they're used to seeing at this level. Is this one down in the dirt? Good job by Nash to keep that in front of him. And the count 2-0. 2 outs here. Runner on second. And Zigarelli, after the leadoff walk, he advanced on a sacrifice bunt from Nick Storino. McKeever trailing 2-0 in the count. Checks the runner towards the dish, and here's the pitch. Down low again. Count now 3-0. We saw this in the first game. You've got a runner on second, 3-0 count. It's okay if you walk him, but you cannot throw a wild pitch right here and allow a runner to advance to third.
Exactly. Having 2 men on is less bad than 3-1 and a man on third.
And that's exactly what happens here. That last pitch outside, so Cook reaches with a walk. Second one we've seen this inning. It is the 3rd walk of the game, 4th if you include the hit by pitch. And now up is Jack Hayes, who led off last inning with a walk. First and second, 2 outs. McKeever checks the runner on second, and he is safe.
Zigarelli looked like he was snoozing a little bit out there, but he's able to get back in time.
Only 1 hit so far from New Milford. McKeever works to the dish this time. That one in there for a strike. Oh, 1 count. On first and second, McKeever steps off again. And he just hasn't looked comfortable yet this inning, AJ.
He really hasn't, and you want to get him back into a rhythm, whatever his rhythm may be. Zigarelli's in his head.
As this one working to the dish, fouled off to the first base side. Lockwood over there underneath it, makes the play. So no hits, 2 walks, 2 left on, and at the end of 2.5, Stamford 1, New Milford 0 here on the HAN Network.
Have a sports injury or a slip and fall that needs immediate care? Coastal Ortho Express Urgent Care gives you direct access to an orthopedic specialist fast, without an appointment. Biking, golf, tennis, soccer, whatever the sports injury is, sprain or fracture, Coastal Ortho Express can help. Coastal Ortho Express Urgent Care, open Monday through Saturday, now in 2 locations. The iPark building at 761 Main Avenue in Norwalk and 36 Old Kings Highway South in Darien. Or go to coastalorthoexpress.com, like them on Facebook.
And we welcome you back here to Kubetta Stadium, the 2016 Connecticut Babe Ruth State Tournament for the 13 and under division. Frank Granito and AJ Simonowski bringing you the second of our semifinal doubleheader in Game 1. Waterford took down Darien by a score of 9-0, a relatively easy game for the defending state champions. AJ, New Milford now stranding 2 runners that last inning after getting on early. Are the frustrations starting to mount a little bit?
Just a little bit. It's still only the 3rd inning. Now, granted, at this level, you're playing 7, so you're approaching the midway point of the game. You would like to see them have scratched across a run at this point, but I do not think it is time to panic just yet if you're New Milford.
So Joseph Dawkins will be the batter. He gets a brand new count after Healy was caught stealing to end the inning. So Dawkins resets and is quickly finding himself 1-1. Working against Gilbert as this one lined out to center field. Going back is Caniglio, and he makes the play. Looked like he might have misjudged it at first, but a good job to recover. And there is one away after the fly out to center field.
And recovery is exactly the word for that. It did look like he misjudged it a little bit coming off the bat. It was on him before he was really ready, but he's able to get his feet underneath him, track down the ball, and make what is really a fairly routine play.
So here is the follow-up pitch lined right out to Caniglio again. This one secures with the belly as they make quick work of the big first baseman, Jay Lockwood. So 2 outs on just 4 pitches here, after it took Gilbert a total of 49 to get through the first 2 innings. And here is the shortstop, David Colazzo. Reached first on a single in the first inning. Stole second, got as far as third before the inning came to an end. This one fouled off. Almost took out the camera right on top of the dugout. Marty would not be too happy about that.
No, our cameras have not had a good day between the rain and the general danger of being at a baseball game.
That's one way to get it out of default mode, as this one runs up high in the count 1-2. So Gilbert working ahead here. 1-2 against Colazzo with 2 quick outs in the bottom of the 3rd. This one fouled off to the first base side. Chasing it, unable to get there, though, was Jack Hayes.
Colazzo able to get just enough of that, fight it off. Didn't quite make the seats. If it had, I think it would have run into some New Milford fans, unfortunately. But further out of the reach of the first baseman, so still a relatively safe foul ball.
So the count now 1-2. Here comes the pitch, fouled off down the right side again. This one will make its way into the bleachers. So still 1-2 as Colazzo continues to fight with Gilbert. From the windup, here's the pitch. This one lined out to center field. That one's going to find the gap. Taking off a hop is Caniglio. He'll head for second. Is Colazzo going to make it in time? Head first slide, and he's in there safely as Colazzo stays hot at the dish.
And Frank, it looked like it was going to be yet another ball out to Caniglio. This one with a little bit more mustard on it in the gap, and the size of the park plays into it. That ball would have rolled pretty much out to a live at 5 had there been nothing in the way.
And, of course, the grass still wet from the rain before, so that slows it down a little bit. But, again, that looked like a gapper that's going to keep rolling out there. Good job by Caniglio to hunt it down so quickly. As a line drive quickly heading over on the first base side, and a heads-up play by several fans to get out of the way.
Everybody all right. That is the important thing.
As Mason Masterson well behind that fastball, but doing a good job to fight it off. As that pitch catches the corner and is strike 2.
Exactly how you want to come back at this if you are Gilbert. You give up a massive double, come right back to the next batter with 2 quick strikes.
Collazo takes a lead off second. Gilbert quickly to the dish. This one just a little bit high. Not chasing was Masterson. Stamford scored 1 in the first. They stranded 3 in that inning. Were held in check last inning. Outside, ball 2. New Milford yet to score, but in the past 2 innings they have stranded 5 runners, as it appears they are starting to get to McKeever. 2-2 the count. Collazo on second. Masterson at the dish. Gilbert comes to him. This one up high. He struck him out swinging, and that's going to end the inning. No runs on 1 hit. Nobody left standing. And at the end of 3 innings, Stamford 1, New Milford 0, here on the HAN Network.
Walter Stewart's Market in New Canaan is your time-saving local shopping destination for the best of spring. Find many of your favorite products, from great specials on everyday items to the freshest organic produce, artisanal cheeses, and grass-fed steaks. Drop off your knives to be sharpened, grab a beautiful bouquet of spring flowers, and stop in next door for a wine tasting. Plus, their personable staff is always ready to lend a helping hand. So stop in to Walter Stewart's Market, 229 Elm Street today, or shop online at stewartsmarket.com.
You're watching the HAN Network, and you're not alone. Nearly 1 million people have watched our live sports, news, and entertainment programming since the network launched in August 2015. Advertise on the network that reaches Fairfield County, Connecticut's most engaged audience. Contact Advertising Director Jessica Murrin at 203-273-7312 or email jessica@han.network.
So we head to the top of the 4th here on the HAN Network. Game 2 of our Connecticut Babe Ruth State Championship doubleheader. New Milford trailing in this one 1-0, but they come up with the number 5 hitter, Peter Caniglio, who has showed off the leather in the field tonight, AJ.
He was busy in the last inning. 2 balls hit to him, 1 hit by him that he cut off extremely well. Boy's been busy, and now he's got to get up and hit. Important to note, though, Frank, Jack Hayes working on what looks like a wrist brace he has going on, gotten some duct tape on it from Mama Hayes. Hope everything's okay.
Through 3 innings, McKeever has surrendered only 1 hit. He has walked 4 batters, 1 man reaching on a fielder's choice. He has thrown a total of 46 pitches.
I'll take your word for that.
Caniglio, in his first at-bat, did single. It is the lone hit. And I am getting word that the duct tape on Hayes' wrist now, as this one runs inside for a ball, is official HAN duct tape.
I wouldn't be surprised. We have several rolls of duct tape lying around here.
One of the many perks of having the HAN around, unlimited supplies of duct tape. As the 1-0 from McKeever runs high and inside, but over the plate. Strike 1.
And as I let enough duct tape.
Should be a slogan for them. That's a good one. Here's the 1-1 from McKeever. This one up high for sure, and the count now 2-1. A reminder that we will be back at Kubetta Stadium tomorrow night at 7 o'clock to cover the championship game, where Waterford awaits the winner of this second game in the doubleheader, as that one catches the outside corner, and the count now 2-2. Still a lot of time left, But New Milford is going to have to find a way to break through here at some point. As Caniglio leans with it, but it catches the outside corner. Strike 3 looking. It is the 4th strikeout of the night now for McKeever.
If you are New Milford, not how you want to get things going, especially with the strikeout looking. McKeever has established this pattern of giving up a lot of pitches to the leadoff batter. Not this time around.
And it's interesting as the pitcher, Patrick Gilbert, steps into the batter's box now. That one bounced to the back of the backstop. It's interesting, AJ, because first inning he starts off with a strikeout, goes quickly 1-2-3. The last 2 innings he struggled a little bit. Good to see McKeever turn it around now, come back, start the inning off with a strikeout.
Definitely. You want to see him get back into, again, as we've said, rhythm. But worth pointing out, Frank, though, he did strike out off the leadoff batter.
As this one slowly to the left side. Nice play there from the shortstop position. Charging was Jester. It was just out of his reach. Galazzo slides to the backhand, stabs at it, and is able to throw out Gilbert before he can make his way down to first.
And this is why you back each other up out there. If the first guy can't get it, make sure the second one does. To finish my thought, McKeever did strike out the leadoff batter of the game, but did it on 6 pitches. He had to work for it.
Just 2 pitches to Gilbert was all it took there as John Fitzmaurice, thank you. As this one, a strike on the outside corner to Fitzmaurice. McKeever, the 0-1 pitch. Down low, and the count 1-1. The extra hitter's second at bat. He struck out back in the second inning. And the 1-1 from McKeever. This one cut on, pops straight up. Chasing after it is McKeever, and he's able to field in foul territory. And so it takes just 10 pitches, AJ, and McKeever escapes the 4th without any blood.
Exactly the kind of inning you want to see from him. Struggled in the second, got a little roughed up in the third, but better. Here, you come back with 10 pitches, a strikeout looking, a grounder to third, and a great play made by the third baseman, and now a weak pop-up just short of the plate. That's how you get out of an inning.
No runs, no walks, no hits, nobody left on at the end of 3.5. Stanford 1, New Milford nothing here on the AJN Network.
For more than 50 years, Triple S has been Fairfield County's expert service for carpet, upholstery, and drapery cleaning. We provide the best in repairs and in-depth restoration, understanding fabrics and how to properly clean and restore them. Our staff will come to your home to clean your wall-to-wall carpet to perfection. We can also pick up your fine carpets and bring them to our facilities. With locations in Norwalk, Stamford, and Stratford, Triple S will get the job done fast, big or small. At Triple S, you can count on our people as well as our cleaning. Find us at triplesclean.com or 203-847-8000.
Give your day a jumpstart with the latest news, sports, weather, and more on Coffee Break, live on the HAN Network, weekdays at 11 a.m. Connecticut news doesn't get any more local than on Coffee Break.
And we welcome you back to the HAN Network's live coverage of the 2016 Connecticut Babe Ruth State Championships. Frank Granito and AJ Simonowski as we head to the bottom half of the 4th inning. It'll be the left fielder, Todd Gutman, coming up to the plate, who singled back in the 1st inning, AJ.
Indeed he did, Frank. And if you're Stanford, you've got the lead. Here is where you start to want to start getting guys on. The way the game is taking shape so far, this could be a 1-0 game. But if you can make it 2-0, that's even better.
And we know Stanford has got some big arms left in their bullpen right now. We'll be interesting to see how they handle McKeever down the stretch. He's up around 58 pitches now. As this one is ripped hard down the third base line, but foul. Good cut by Gutman as Stanford looks to be getting a hang for what Gilbert is throwing their way.
And the sooner you can hone in on pitcher stuff, as it seems that Stanford is doing so far, the sooner you can get to him.
So here's the 1-2 pitch, sailed well high and over the head of Gutman.
Just a bit outside.
65 is the pitch count for Gilbert coming into this inning. He only threw 16 last inning, which is his best effort yet, as the 2-2 pitch again sails high and over the head of Gutman. One nothing the score, bottom of the fourth inning. We have not seen a run scored since the first when the leadoff batter, Ben Nash, walked and made his way all the way around the bases. Here's the 3-2 pitch. That one outside, and it's a leadoff walk for Gutman.
And what do they say, Frank? Never walk the leadoff man.
So that brings up the third baseman, Matt Jester. Jester is 0 for 1 on the day as he flew out to the center fielder, Caniglio. A pickoff attempt here to first, and back in safely is Gutman. And AJ, you made a good point. This could really end like a 1-0 game. It has been a bit of a pitcher's duel, but it's been a sloppy one.
It has. Both of them are having issues finding the zone, and that I attribute that to youth. All pitchers go through times when they're just not able to throw strikes, and the younger you are, the more likely that's going to happen.
But we credit both pitchers so far. As they've dealt themselves into jams, they've done just as good a job getting out. As the bunt is taken away, the steal is on, and in there safely is Gutman with the stolen base. Heads up base running as he got a great jump off Gilbert.
And really a courtesy throw from Bontempo. Not a whole lot of chance to get Gutman as he was running there.
And Jester was showing bunt there. He pulled back and the pitch was a ball, so it's interesting to wonder if he was just a distraction for the steal or if the bunt was actually on, as this one runs high in the count now 3-0. As we work late into the night here from Scalzi's Park. Park hours are open till 12:30. You can catch Pokemon till dawn.
I think we should just stay. Let's just spend the night in the RV.
Stepping off the rubber is Gilbert as he checks back to Gutman on second. Don't forget, tomorrow morning, the HAN Network will be live in Darien. Kate Chaplensky anchors our coverage of the annual sidewalk sale, which will be followed up by the championship game here at Scalzi Park's Cubetta Stadium tomorrow night at 7. As this pitch in there for a strike, and the count now 3-1. Hopefully a little cooler out tomorrow for the sidewalk sale than it was today, or at least less humid, as this one cut on and fouled back.
I, for one, would really appreciate less humidity. I did not wear my HAN Network polo today, as we were sporting the brand new gray models. Very sharp.
I like it. It's like a nice charcoal. It looks good.
I did not wear my polo for the first game. I wore my standard HAN Network t-shirt, and I don't think it will be dry for several days.
So here's the full count payoff as this one cut on and fouled off again by Jester. Still nobody out. Standing on second is Gutman. He walked to lead off the inning, stole second, and has been patiently waiting out there as Jester battles with Gilbert right now. Once again, a 3-2 pitch coming. Gilbert from the stretch. This one cut on, fouled off again. We'll see if there's room over there, as underneath it is Hayes. And that's Ian Cook. And he makes the play for the first out of the inning.
And if you're Jester, you're disappointed with how that at-bat played out. You work on what you want to do. You hope for at least good contact, and you're just not able to get it.
So that brings up the pitcher, Calvin McKeever. He grounded out to short back in the second inning, 0 for 1 on the day. Gutman still on second. Gilbert's first pitch in there for a strike, and the count 0-1. See more and more fans starting to pile in as the seats, well, I guess they would be the portable seats, making their way out there in left field as this one over to the foul side of first base, making the play there. Sans duct tape is Jack Hayes. And so there are now 2 outs.
Frank, I actually have to correct
you. I said Sans, I meant to say Con.
Con duct tape.
Con duct tape.
Con el duct tape.
I meant to go Espanol when I went Francais.
As long as you have realized your error and that I can never let you forget
I struggle with both languages enough to know the errors. So 2 away after the foul out from McKeever, and that brings up Tucker Healy, who singled back in the second. This one cut on. And check that. We've got a pinch hitter at the dish here. That is number 22, Mike Tamburi. As he hits for Healy here in the number 9 spot. Runner on second, 2 outs, and the count 0-1. This one cut on and fouled off again as Tamburi taking some big hacks up at the dish right now.
It's your first at bat in the game. You've had some time in the cage, get yourself warmed up, but you want to go up there and swing. Unfortunately, that's not always the best thing to do.
So Gilbert way ahead. Checks out Gutman on second, dealing with the 0-2. Here's the pitch. Cut on and missed outside. Tamburi down on strikes. No hits, 1 walk, 1 left on. And at the end of 4, it's still 1-0. Stamford over New Milford here on the HAN Network.
Mosquitoes, ticks, gone. Guaranteed. That's what Mosquito Squad guarantees as America's most trusted mosquito and tick control company. Locally owned and operated, over 90,000 homes have been protected by Mosquito Squad using their dual protection method for season-long protection, which includes barrier spray service for eliminating mosquitoes and adult ticks, as well as supplemental programs to increase tick control. They use only USDA organic options, which are safe and non-toxic. Contact them today at www.squadctny.com or 203-893-4309. Mosquito Squad. No bugs, no bites, no kidding.
I really wanted something that felt like a home. Coming from a big house, I wanted the feel of a home as opposed to a condo. The construction is incredible, whether it's the floors, the fireplace, the moldings, the lighting. It's as peaceful as my home was in the middle of the woods. It feels like a house. It does not feel like a condo or a townhome. I feel like I'm in my house.
Here live on the HAN Network at Scalzi Parks Kubetta Stadium. Bobby Darling Field, 2016 Connecticut Babe Ruth State Championships for the 13 and under division. AJ Simonowski and Frank Renito. AJ, we've got a little explaining to do. Any starter in the lineup is allowed to be re-entered after a substitution. Mike Tamburi came in to pinch hit for Tucker Healy there. Tamburi is done for the night now. Tucker Healy has re-entered at second base.
Thank you for explaining that, Frank, because I freely admit that I was totally clueless on the re-entry rule. Good job there.
If Healy is substituted for again, though, he will be done for the night. You're only allowed to be re-entered 1 time. Unfortunately, it doesn't work out for the Thunder as Tamburi was struck out to end the inning there. And New Milford comes back now with Sergey Holcomb, the right fielder, facing off against McKeever. First pitch down low in the dirt is a ball. McKeever is up to 56 pitches entering this inning. Was back under control last inning, only threw 10. As the 1-0 pitch is on the way. And that one in there for a strike. And you get the feel right now, AJ, that Coach Zigarelli is telling his players, we're not going to swing until we see a strike.
I do have to agree with you on that one, Frank. As Holcomb shows the bunt, pulls it back, count 2-1. Excuse me. We have seen McKeever's propensity to throw a lot of pitches early in the count and to get himself into a jam. You've got to look for the good pitches.
This one down low again in the count now, quickly up to 3-1. As McKeever is chasing after Holcomb. Holcomb hit into a fielder's choice back in the second, and draws himself a walk here in the fifth. That is the third time tonight that McKeever has walked.
One of them to score. That is a huge that is representative of the kind of defense Stamford is showing tonight.
Holcomb going all the way. Here's the throw from behind the plate. In there in time. Did he get him? They'll say he slides in safely. Nicely done by Holcomb.
It was an excellent throw from Ben Nash. Just a little bit behind Holcomb as he slides in. That, I would actually say, is probably the best throw we've seen from a catcher tonight, even though he didn't get the runner.
And just missing with the tag was Tucker Healy. The count 0-1 after the strike. This one up high and over the head of Beebe, who is 0 for 1 tonight with a strikeout. McKeever from the stretch, the 1-1 pitch. On the way, cut on and fouled back. And excuse me, AJ, we have another pinch hit situation here. Now at the ditch, it's JT Snowden, number 54, pinch hitting for Kyle Beebe. Count is 1-2 to Snowden. McKeever checks the runner. Steps off. Looks at Holcomb, and he forces him back. Nobody out. Holcomb reached on a walk and took second on the first pitch of this at-bat to Snowden. Pickoff attempt here. No throw. Nobody covering, but he keeps Holcomb honest. And once again, McKeever looks a little uncomfortable.
As soon as someone gets on second base, I believe it seems to get in his head.
Checks the runner again. This time comes to the plate. Big curveball that never breaks down. And the count 2-2 to Snowden.
And Frank, I think it's time in the game when we can say this is a very important at-bat if you are New Milford. You've got the leadoff man on second with nobody outs, man in scoring position. You have got to at least move him over.
And this pitch up high again. So the count runs full. McKeever was up as much as 1-2 here. Had to play catch with shortstop and second to keep an eye on Holcomb a couple times as he now comes with the full count pitch. Down low and outside. Ball 4 is the call. Second walk of the inning. First and second, nobody out. New Milford chasing one. And that brings up the shortstop, Jack Zigarelli, who also walked back in the third inning. McKeever working quickly after taking the sign. Heads to the dish. This one in there for a strike.
And McKeever responding the way you want him to, throwing strikes. But now he's got to start worrying about getting some outs.
Especially with the top of the order looming here. Zigarelli, the 10 hitter in this lineup. This one down low in the dirt. Good dive by Nash to stop that one from rolling behind him.
And while we have a minute, I do want to give attention to JT Snowden wearing the high socks.
Looks good, too.
Those are some excellent
nice
socks.
Tube socks, too, as the 1-1 pitch runs up high, and it is now 2-1 to Zigarelli. Keever taking his time. Steps onto the rubber. Waits for a sign. Got one he likes, but instead steps off, checks out Holcomb on second base, as once again he looks a little rattled out there. 2-1 the count from the stretch. Checks the runner, comes to the dish. This one cut on, pops straight up. Chasing it is Lockwood as well as Healy. Finally, it falls safely to the ground as no one able to cover there.
And Frank Lockwood Lockwood never had that ball. He started in a little bit looking for it, whether in the lights or a misplay, loses the hat as he's going back for it. There was really never a shot he was going to come up with it.
And Lockwood is tight to the grass right now because he's got to cover for the bunt in the situation that they might be able to get the runner at third. Healy is holding the runner on second, so it was truly a ball hit to no man's land, and it didn't look like Dawkins was going to be able to get there from right field. So the 2-2 from McKeever now. This one runs up high, and the count goes full.
And while the spot was big for Snowden,
and we can see there is some action going on out in the bullpen right now as this pitch cut on, poked to ooh, that's to right field. There is Dawkins, makes the catch, no tag. So Zigarelli flies out, and that's the first out of the inning. But far from out of trouble is McKeever.
Obviously, if you're Stamford, you would have liked to see them turn a double play there, but they'll take the out from Dawkins.
Coach Pearso heads to the mound here. Looks like we might be seeing a trip to the bullpen. Nope, just a routine mound visit here. As they talk things over, the bullpen was in action. We can see them working their way back down the left field line right now. So one down, AJ. 2 runners on. You got the top of the order up. Storino has struggled. He has not been able to do much today. We saw him sacrifice bunt in the third. Struck out to start the game. Then you got Bontempo coming up, who's 0 for 2. Ian Cook is 1 for 1 with a walk. Hayes is 0 for 1 with a walk. Not a lot of action just yet out of the Hardy order. Are they looking at this as their due?
I think you have to. You always expect the best production from the guys you put at the top of the order. If you're Stamford here, you're going out, you're talking to McKeever, getting him calmed down. He has not had a great start to this inning, and presumably New Milford's best hitters are due up. Calm him down, get him through this inning. If they go to the bullpen, they'll come in the 6th.
So here's Storino, the second baseman, top of the order. As the pickoff attempt comes back to keep Holcomb honest. 1 down after Zigarelli popped out. 0-0 the count. And step is McKeever. Working from the stretch. McKeever to the dish. That one high and outside, and the count 1-0. And I would expect this will be the last inning we see of McKeever if he is able to get out of this jam. Big hole between short and third should Storino go the opposite way. There's the 1-0 pitch, and that one's in there for a strike. So 1-1 the count now. Still only 1 hit for New Milford. 4 for the Stamford Thunder. 1 run scored. It was all the way back in the bottom of the first. Pickoff attempt, no throw. It's McKeever still trying to fight through the mind games of Holcomb at second. Pickoff again, no one there covering, can't throw.
And Frank, I wonder the frequency McKeever looking back towards second, if these are called or if it's actually his decision.
This one high and outside. And it's interesting because it doesn't look from here as though Holcomb has got that big of a jump.
It doesn't, and it's David Collazo that is out there holding him on. And more than a few of these attempts, Collazo's been nowhere near the bag.
And that one roped out to center field. It's going to drop for a hit. Being waved home is Holcomb. It's bobbled out by Masterson. This throw cut off by Lockwood, and we are tied up at 1.
Storino finally coming through at the top of the order. New Milford able to get on the board as the ball was bobbled out in center field by Mason Masterson. And we got a tie game, Frank.
And it looked like Masterson might have had a chance to throw out the runner at home as Holcomb was a little slow coming around third. The bobble, though, made it with relative ease. Smart job by Lockwood cutting it off. Still one out, and you keep runners at first and second as Snowden could only make it that far. Storino on first. Bontempo at the dish. This pitch up high, ball one. So the second hit for New Milford is the one that breaks through, and they are finally on the board here in the top of the fifth. 1-0 pitch down low. Good job by Nash as he stops that one with the chest.
And guys, the spot here for Stamford, even bigger than it was just a moment ago as McKeever comes inside now. The count 3-0, Frank. You got runners on first and second with just one out. And this gets worse for you. But a double play, and suddenly you're out of it.
And it makes it just as scary, though, with the 3-4 hitters coming up in the lineup, as this one is low and outside. And McKeever is struggling right now to find the dish. We'll see how long they can leave him in there. His third walk of the inning. And that brings up the big third baseman, Ian Cook. But I don't think McKeever will have the chance to face him, as we see head coach Tom Pierce make his way back out there again. And this time he will ask McKeever for the rock. We will take a break here on the HAN Network. When we come back, we'll inform you of the pitching change and have the rest of this inning of the 2016 Babe Ruth Connecticut State Championships here on the HAN Network.
Want to learn how sponsored content can help your business? Let the HAN Network help. First of all, what is sponsored content? Well, it's a story, video, or other content compelling enough for folks to want to read it, view it, or interact with it, and it's sponsored by a business. We create this kind of content for clients all the time. We build an interesting story or video that carefully weaves your business's brand into the narrative. It might be a story about how the condominium law in New York State makes property taxes on condos much lower than in Connecticut. The sponsor is a condo developer in Westchester, New York. Or a video explaining the European roots of a cafe and yoga studio in Wilton. Or talking about the history of a brand, product, or store while showing its modern-day incarnation. Or even a poll that asks readers to answer a question that leads them to your brand. Let the HAN Network Content Studio build a story around your business.
I'm John Kovach. I'm a newspaper editor. I'm a high school football coach. I'm a television presenter. And I want you to love fishing as much as I do. Tune in to Yankee Fisherman, Thursdays at 1 on the HAN Network. It's like going to the tackle shop without leaving your office.
Give your day a jumpstart with the latest news, sports, weather, and more on Coffee Break, live on the HAN Network, weekdays at 11 a.m. Connecticut news doesn't get any more local than on Coffee Break.
And we are back here on the HAN Network. We can get you up to date on all of the position switches and substitutions now that Stamford has made. And for that, we go over to AJ Simonowski.
Oh, sure, Frank. Throw me under the bus. So Colin McKeever runs into a little bit of trouble here in the bottom of the fifth. He will come out of the game as a pitcher and head over to first base. From first base, Jay Lockwood heads to third. From third base, Matt Jester heads to second. Tucker Healy is now out of the game. On the hill for the Stamford Thunder, James Gerard. Boy, I hope I got that all right.
And right away on the first pitch, Ian Cook tees off on one of the left center gap. Masterson fields there, fires it in. McKeever cuts it off. 2 runs will score. As before AJ can even come out and announce the lineups, Cook is on the board. It's a 2 RBI single, and Milford leads 3-1.
And if you're Stamford, exactly what you did not want to happen is what happened. Ian Cook tees off on the first pitch that he sees and hits a screamer to the left field gap.
So 3-1 the score. Cook tees off on Gerard's first pitch. Here comes the second one, and it's up high to Jack Hayes.
Boy, I can't even update my scorecard.
This one over the heart of the plate, taken for a strike. Here's the 1-1 pitch. This one grounded to short. We'll see if Collazo can get two. Flips to second. Here's Jester's throw to first. Well off the mark. Good job by McKeever, though, to knock it down. So the runner forced to stay at third.
And that really is an excellent play by McKeever, staying with the ball on that one. Bontempo had headed towards third and started to head home as the ball got away from McKeever. But being that he stuck with it, Bontempo is stuck at third.
So Cook reaches on the fielder's choice. They will not score an error. At least not yet. And that brings up Peter Coniglio. 2 down, first and second. Hayes with a healthy lead off of first. And McKeever decides to hold him on. Gerard stares down the runner. Now comes to the dish. This one hanging inside for a ball, and the count 1-1. 3-1 New Milford. All 3 runs coming here in the 5th as this one bounces down low in the dirt, and the count now 2-1. All 3 runs will be charged to McKeever as he goes officially 4 1/3, surrendering 2 hits with 4 strikeouts for 3 runs. As this one poked towards third base, chasing it down as Lockwood makes the play to end the inning, but the damage is done. 2 hits, one of them a big one, 3 walks, 2 left on, and 3 runs at the end of 4 1/2. New Milford on top, 3-1 now. Stamford coming to bat right here on the HAN Network when we get back.
Have a sports injury or a slip and fall that needs immediate care? Coastal Ortho Express Urgent Care gives you direct access to an orthopedic specialist fast, without an appointment. Biking, golf, tennis, soccer, whatever the sports injury is, sprain or fracture, Coastal Ortho Express can help. Coastal Ortho Express Urgent Care, open Monday through Saturday, now in 2 locations. The iPark building at 761 Main Avenue in Norwalk and 36 Old Kings Highway South in Darien. Or go to coastalorthoexpress.com, like them on Facebook.
Keep your future star active and happy this summer at Future Stars Sports Academy camps and clinics. The Academy is offering sessions throughout Fairfield County. Sign up for a week of basketball, cheerleading, football, or a multi-sports camp. At Future Stars Academy, children learn the fundamentals while under the supervision of qualified coaches. And what sets the Academy apart is its special Lessons of Life sessions, teaching values and focusing on building. Located at Sports Center Connecticut in Shelton and in Sports in Trumbull. Register online at futurestarssportsacademy.com.
And we are back here on the HAN Network. Bottom of the 5th inning coming up as we have got a pitching change coming for New Milford here. Patrick Gilbert is done for the evening. Coming to the mound is Ian Cook from third base. So big hit, and you get to come in and pitch the next inning. Gilbert and Cook will just switch from pitcher and third. So your life is...
See, that I like. That makes my life over here a lot easier.
Stamford will come up with the top of the order here in the bottom of the 5th, as it will be Nash, Dawkins, Lockwood, and Collazo should he get that far.
As I am still relatively new to the pastime of scorekeeping, our national pastime. Boy, did I pick the wrong game to get started with.
It's a lot of fun with the youth. You've got re-entry rules. You've got one player coming in, which means 10 different guys have to switch positions. The batting order never changes, but it's somehow always changing.
Am I due up this inning?
So Cook staring down Nash, and here is his first pitch in the bottom of the fifth, and it's in there for a strike. Nash 0 for 1 on the day with a walk and has scored the lone Stamford run. That one fired in there, strike 2. Quickly 0-2 the count to Nash.
And thus far, Cook is throwing absolute gas, which is what you want from a relief pitcher. You want to come in and you want to
down low in the dirt. 1-2 the count. Just past 10:45 here in Stamford. Still absolutely beautiful out. Great temperature as that one just misses high.
So what do you think, Frank? You want to stay for another one after this?
I mean, at this point in time, we're just going to turn it around and get ready for the doubleheader tomorrow. We can do coffee break, cover the sidewalk sale from here. We'll get reporters on the floor and let us know what's going on. As this one grounded down the first baseline, fielding there, plenty of time. Crouching Tiger, hidden Jack Hayes, as he struggled to get out of the stance there. Wisely taps first base with the ball in his bare hand.
Well, you figure he goes down to make the play on the ground ball, which was really a hot shot, and tries to get back up. It's not there. Says, you know what? I'm good to see the sense of humility, and he gets up laughing. That's the important thing.
So Cook retires the first batter he faces. Now he has the challenge of Jaden Dawkins. Sacrifice bunt in the first inning. Flew out to Caniglio. A little dyslexia moment there. Caniglio out in center field back in the third.
That was the all Caniglio inning.
And all of a sudden, AJ, it quickly feels as though the pressure is right on Stamford and they're running out of time. As this one popped up to right field. Plenty of time working into foul territory and making the catch is Sergei Holcomb.
And Frank, I think you're right. The onus now is on Stamford, but I think most importantly, it feels like New Milford's got a bit of mojo going. And no matter what sport it is you're playing, youth baseball, professional baseball, lacrosse, golf, curling, if you've got the mojo going, you got a shot to win.
Here's the pitch to the number 3 hitter as that one is down in the dirt to Lockwood. Lockwood has flied out to center field twice, but has made big contact on both. And you can see Caniglio playing deep back there and also favoring that right side, thinking there might be a little slap attempt here. So the 1-0 pitch to Lockwood. In there for a strike on the inside corner. Here's the 1-1 pitch down low in the dirt, and asking for time to talk is Bon Tempo. Bottom of the fifth, 2 away. New Milford scored 3 in the top, and they now lead this one 3-1. Stamford running out of time, chasing 2.
It's the sign of a good catcher, what you see here from Bon Tempo. 2 balls in the dirt in a row. Clearly they're getting something. There is some sort of miscommunication between pitcher and catcher. You go out there, you straighten it out, and you move on.
And a big cut there from Lockwood, but well behind on that pitch, as the meeting must have worked. And now 2-2 the count with 2 outs here in the bottom of the fifth. And Cook a strike away from getting out of here. And the 2-2 payoff. Popped up, foul, and it is out of play. We'll do it again.
Big, healthy cut from Lockwood. A really good sounding ping off the bat. Just didn't go the right way.
Lockwood, one of the bigger bats in this lineup. Cook forced to throw a 2-2 again. Here comes the pitch. Got him down low. Nice slider in the dirt. Lockwood chased. 3 up, 3 down. At the end of 5, New Milford 3, Stamford 1. We'll be right back here on the HAN Network.
Warm weather, light breezes, boats are in the water. There's no better place to celebrate summer than the Dock Shop. Whether in Darien at 51 Tokenique Road or Westport at 609 Riverside Avenue, the Dock Shop is where you'll find everything you need to kick off summer. From the latest summer apparel to the newest fishing tackle, the Dock Shop will help you get the most out of your next beach day or harbor cruise. At the Dock Shop, you'll find a wonderful selection of items made in the USA and right here in New England, all with a distinct nautical flair. Boater, beach bum, fisherman, or simply love the coastal lifestyle, this is a unique place to shop. DockShop.com.
Mosquitoes, ticks, gone. Guaranteed. That's what Mosquito Squad guarantees as America's most trusted mosquito and tick control company. Locally owned and operated, over 90,000 homes have been protected by Mosquito Squad using their dual protection method for season-long protection, which includes barrier spray service for eliminating mosquitoes and adult ticks, as well as supplemental programs to increase tick control. They use only USDA organic options, which are safe and non-toxic. Contact them today at www.squadctny.com or 203-893-4309. Mosquito Squad. No bugs, no bites, no kidding.
3 in the 5th will get a second chance at James Gerard. Gerard pitched only 2/3 of that inning. Unfortunately, had to start inheriting 3 runners from McKeever. 3 of those runners scored. He was able to get out of the jam, but now has the task of facing Patrick Gilbert and the rest of this New Milford order. I bring in my partner, AJ Simonowski. AJ, we are working into the late hours of the night here. Eric Gendron is falling asleep next to us as we did not sign up for this kind of a night.
Is it Saturday yet?
Almost, as we can just barely taste the weekend. But before we get to that, we've got a great sidewalk sale to cover down in Darien. And we get another baseball game tomorrow night where the winner of this will take on Waterford as we are underway in the 6th with Gerard's first pitch. As it is roped out to second base. Eagerly waiting there is Jester as he makes the play. And there is one away.
1 pitch, 1 out. What you like to see. I'm going to play the devil's advocate here on this one, Frank. So far, New Milford has hit Gerard very well. I'm interested to see how long the Thunder stick with him.
So the first pitch to Fitzmaurice is a strike. We've actually got a pinch hitter here, AJ, as Jack Martinez has moved into the extra hitter spot. And quickly, the count moves to 0-2. And the 0-2 from Gerard on the way. Up high, called for a ball. And remember, this is a Stamford team that was 3-0 against this New Milford squad coming into tonight's game.
Though worth pointing out, New Milford cruised through pool play. Sometimes the repeated running intos of another team doesn't give you the advantage you think it might.
Nasty curveball down in the dirt. Not chasing that one, though, was Martinez, so the count now back to even at 2-2. So Gerard deals the 2-2 pitch. That one popped up to the left side. McKeever there in foul territory underneath it makes the play, and there's 2 away. And so we see Sergi Holcomb come up to the dish now. He started off last inning with a walk and was the first runner to make it all the way around for New Milford. He sparked that run a little bit. We'll see what he can do here with 2 outs in the top of the 6th.
Had almost as good a battle with McKeever from second base, leading off and just being a general menace as he did at the plate.
That pitch from Gerard in there for a strike. Nash unable to connect with Girard on the throw back. Picking it up, cleaning it off very nicely was Collazo. Really getting a good rub in there. And now it's ready for Girard.
Saw him go to his pants there a couple times, Frank. Hopefully we don't have any foreign substances, your Crisco, your baby oil, whatever you may put on the ball.
So the 0-1 from Girard, well up high. And the count now, 1-1 to Holcomb.
Of course we kid. These are just the things that you talk about calling a baseball game at 11 o'clock on a Thursday night.
Here's the 1-1 from Girard. That one in there for a strike, and the count now 1-2. As we are 3 minutes away from 11 o'clock.
I rounded up.
The 1-2 pitch. Curveball. Got him going. Nash throws down to third just for fun. There's 3 outs, and that's going to do it here in the top half. 3 up, 3 down. Takes only 10 pitches. Seems to be a theme to the night.
Sure, why not?
At the end of 5.5, New Milford 3, Stamford 1. They're coming up in the bottom half of the inning here on the HAN Network.
I really wanted something that felt like a home. Coming from a big house, I wanted the feel of a home as opposed to a condo. The construction is incredible, whether it's the floors, the fireplace, the moldings, the lighting. It's as peaceful as my home was in the middle of the woods. It feels like a house. It does not feel like a condo or a townhome. I feel like I'm in my house.
What's happening up in Hartford and what's trending in the Nutmeg State?
Join Kate Chaplinsky
And Josh Fisher.
on CT Pulse live Wednesdays at 12:30 to find out.
We talk to the leaders and newsmakers while breaking down the stories you should be paying attention to each week.
With the help of HAN's editorial cartoonist Doug Smith, we take a humorous look at the news of the week. We talk about everything you were told you should avoid bringing up in polite company.
CT Pulse, Wednesdays at 12:30 on the HAN Network.
To the bottom of the 6th we go, and time is running out for the Stamford Thunder. Only 6 outs remain for them at the dish to catch up to the 2 runs they trail by. AJ, how are they going to be able to pull that off?
They got to start getting men on base. It seems obvious to say, but they have only had in the last 2 innings, they have only had 2 base runners. Gutman with a walk to lead off the 4th. And, the last 3 innings. I lost my place on my scorecard here. Gutman led off with a walk in the 4th inning, and Collazo doubled in the 3rd. Those were the last 2 base runners Stamford has had. They just have to get men on the bases.
And if you want, you can go back one more inning. They've had 3 in the last 4 innings. They really have been held in check since that first inning, and it has to break at some point now. It'll be Collazo to kick off the 6th inning. He is 2 for 2 on the day. If there was a guy to get him going, he's the one right now. And the first pitch from Cole heading our way and out of play.
Despite the relative protection of the press box here at Cubetta Stadium, I ducked.
So the 0-1 from Cook to Collazo. Inside goes for a ball.
And Frank, it bears repeating as it did the last inning. Cook is throwing absolute gas out there on the mound right now.
Here's the 1-1 pitch. That one inside. This time catches the corner. Strike 2.
Backs Collazo off the plate there.
I am a little upset with Bill Bloxham because he told me the Mr. Softy truck would raid around for us, and I regret not going in between games now. As that one fouled off, catches Bontempo in the mask, will do it again at 1-2.
Luckily, he appears to be okay. Takes the mask off, checks the hair, looks good.
Was that a shot at me and Eric?
It was not. The young man was merely checking the dew. He's been wearing the catcher's mask now for New Milford the entire game. It's hot. It's sweaty. You got to make sure everything looks just so.
Well, it warranted a visit from a couple members of the coaching staff as it was quite the bell ringer. The foul ball coming back to the mask. But so 1-2 the count. Bontempo ready. Collazo steps in. Cook set to deal, and here he comes from the windup. That one fouled off again. Good at-bat so far from Collazo to start this inning.
Just a little bit of an excuse-me swing. Keeps himself alive, which is the important thing now here if you're Stamford. Collazo is your hottest hitter tonight. You really want him to get on.
So the 1-2 for the third time comes in down low, and it's ball now 2-2.
The New Milford crowd has thinned a little bit, but still just as into it as they had been earlier in the game.
Looked like that last one went off of Bontempo's foot, so a tough at-bat here for him as Collazo ropes one out to right field, eagerly waiting there. Right in place was Holcomb, as that was a rocket sent out the opposite way.
Collazo puts a very good swing on the ball, gets the bat on it, is able to produce a good hit. Unfortunately, it's right at Sergi Holcomb. Sometimes that's just the way the ball game plays.
So Collazo down. It brings up Mason Masterson, the center fielder. He walked in the first inning, struck out in the third. New Milford now 5 outs away from going to the state championship. So that one runs up high, ball 1. As the host team has been held in check now for quite some time, and the local fans have been pretty quiet since about the second inning.
Well, Frank, quite honestly, they haven't had a whole lot to cheer about. After a rough start to the game, New Milford has really shut Stamford down.
And the 1-0 pitch inside on the black. Count moves to 1-1. So a big pitch there from Cook to Masterson as he comes back 1-1. That one on the corner again. Great view from the birdcage camera. Count now 1-2.
And Cook is doing exactly what you want your relief pitcher to do. He's out there, he's throwing hard, but more importantly, he's throwing strikes.
They go up in the zone there, trying to get Masterson to chase. And he's pretty hungry trying to eat, but not going to get that one. Goes down on strikes. And there's 2 away here in the bottom of the 6th as Gutman makes his way up to the plate. He is 1 for 1 on the night with a walk.
And by my card, Frank, that is already the second strikeout for Cook after after Patrick Gilbert had only struck out 1 through his 4 innings of work. So it shows you the difference in the stuff that's out there on the mound right now for New Milford.
Cook definitely bringing a lot more heat to the mound. But credit Gilbert, who hit his spots when he needed to and pitched well for 4 solid innings, as this one bounces up, catches Bontempo in the mask.
It's an unfortunate trend of baseball at large today. We are so focused on strikeouts. They're a big number. They're the sexy number, if you can say that for pitchers. But more importantly, if you get outs. Strikeouts are great, but you throw a lot of pitches. If you hit your spots, you don't have to strike out a lot of people.
As that pitch swung on and missed for a strike. And, Gilbert finishes with 4 walks and 2 strikeouts. 3 of those 4 walks came in the first inning. And he pitched 4 innings there, so it shows you how he calmed down. As the 1-1 pitch cut on, fouled back, and the count now 2-2.
You had me concerned there for a second. I had 1-2.
So Gilbert goes 4 innings, 4 hits, 1 run, 1 earned, 4 walks, and 2 strikeouts. That is the final count on him. McKeever was 4 1/3, 3 hits, 3 runs, all of them earned, as the 2-2 pitch from Cook up high, ball 3. 3 runs, all of them earned, 7 walks, 4 strikeouts, and 1 hit batter. He stands to take the loss right now. Cook is eligible for the win. Gilbert will pick up. As that one down low in the dirt. Gutman reaches base for the third time tonight. Second time he's walked.
It's a good sign of patience from a young hitter. 2 walks in the game so far. Still, in theory, a chance that he gets up one more time. You like to see a young man who will take the bad pitches. It shows he's got a good eye.
So here's Matt Jester. Flew out in the first inning, flew out in the fourth inning. Last time in foul territory to the third baseman, Cook, as he now faces him at the dish. It was a good at-bat for Jester, just couldn't find a way to straighten it out in the end. And here's the 0-0 pitch up high with Gutman on first, and the count now 1-0.
And while Cook is dealing, as we've been talking about in this inning, last couple batters he's having trouble hitting his spots. Just to throw a number out there, I know he's not throwing 99. 99 miles an hour doesn't do you any good if you don't know where it's going.
Gutman on first takes his lead. Cook takes a peek and now works towards the dish. Jester waiting there. That one a ball in the outside corner. The count now 2-0. This is the first runner that Cook has had to deal with since coming into the game. So the 2-0 pitch. That one up high again, and the count now 3-0. McKeever waiting on deck. He's 0 for 2 on the night. Most likely see Gerard batting after him in that final spot where Tucker Healy started. Cook dealing with some issues on the mound. Finally comfortable. 3-0 pitch coming. Peeks at Gutman. That one in there for a strike. Taking all the way was Jester. Cook steps off, resets. Comes straight to the dish. No need to check Gutman. That one misses up high. Back-to-back walks justify a mound visit here.
And as you said, Frank, that brings up McKeever, who started the game, had some trouble, gave up the big inning in the 5th, which Gerard eventually allowed most of the inherited runners to score that McKeever had put on. Would there not be some irony if he gets to Cook here?
And it is just Cook and a member of the coaching staff, and that is Dave Cook, actually, out there visiting with him. So father and son talk it over quickly. No other infielders necessary. He will deal with McKeever. Retired the first 2 batters with relative ease. He's walked the last 2 and now faces the former starting pitcher, now first baseman for the Stamford Thunder, with a chance to trim into this lead, if not tie it up. And should he find a way to muster up a little strength, it's 320 feet down the left field line for the lead. That one in there for a strike. Looks to be about 430 to center.
430, 530.
Cut on, fouled off.
However far it is, Frank, it is a long way.
Tell me the distance to I-95, and that's what it is to center. Cook quickly ahead 0-2. Runners take their lead. Cook, no hesitation, right to the dish. McKeever chasing up high. Struck him out swinging.
And needless to say, Frank McKeever not happy with himself for chasing that pitch. Slams the bat into his fist as he walks off, and Cook escapes the jam.
2 walks, no hits, 2 left on, no runs. We head to the final inning. New Milford 3, Stamford 1. We'll be right back here on the HAN Network.
watching the HAN Network, and you're not alone. Nearly 1 million people have watched our live sports, news, and entertainment programming since the network launched in August 2015. Advertise on the network that reaches Fairfield County, Connecticut's most engaged audience. Contact Advertising Director Jessica Murrin at 203-273-7312 or email jessica@han.network.
And we welcome you back here. Top of the 7th inning, final inning in Game 2 of the never-ending doubleheader. It is 11-12 on the East. Are still going strong here with Little League Baseball.
That would be Babe Ruth baseball, Frank. We do have to give these young men their credit. They have graduated from Little League up here to Babe Ruth.
And it's been a very exciting night. Both teams have put on a display, really a defensive display at times. Credit the pitchers who have found ways to fight out of jams. The hitting has been there when it's needed to be. New Milford, a little room to be cautious, more patient, not as aggressive at the plate right now. Stamford will not have that luxury in the bottom half.
They definitely won't. But if you're New Milford, there is something to said through, let's just get through this inning, get back to Stamford and close the door. But if you can add on even just one run, the way Cook is pitching right now, the way the pitching has been all day, 3-1 you can come back from. 4-1 is almost insurmountable.
Gerard stays on the bump for Stamford. Snowden, still the pinch hitter here. Or excuse me, now replacing Kyle Beebe. Has that one in there for a strike. And the count now 1-1.
It was a really nifty changeup from Gerard. In a way, if I may go with the obscure baseball knowledge here, almost a bit of an eephus pitch, the Bugs Bunny classic slow ball.
So the count quickly now 1-2. Gerard adjusting his grip, comes to the dish. That one breaking ball down away in the dirt. The count now 2-2. Down low again, count 3-2. Snowden very patient at the dish.
And we have seen patience from both teams. Both teams taking walks, swinging at the pitches that are there, laying off the bad ones. That's commendable at such a young age.
Down low, Snowden draws a walk, working his way back from down 1-2 in the count. And that brings up the shortstop, Jack Zigarelli. Walked in the third, flied out to right in the fifth, and it is time for a meeting on the mound. No pitching change to be made, just a quick talk about what to do should there be a bunt laid down or any other kind of small ball play.
And Frank, as we got here today, talking with some of the folks around the stadium, we were given the impression that small ball would actually be the order of the day. And yes, we've seen steals and steal attempts, we've seen a handful of bunts, but really not quite the small ball I had been led to believe was coming.
So meeting adjourned. Snowden on first. Zigarelli in the batter's box. And on the board with a strike is Gerard. From the stretch, the pitch swung on, lined out to left field. Waiting there eagerly for the first time tonight is Gutman, as he makes a play. And there is one away. here in the top of the 7th. And we make our way back to the top of the order for the 4th time tonight. It's Nick Storino coming to the dish.
Storino, part of that large rally the New Milfords put together in the 5th as he flies harmlessly out to right.
Swinging at the first pitch, pops it up. Dawkins there to make the play. So 2 down. Bontempo comes up. 0 for 2 on the day with a walk in the 5th. Snowden on first. Gerard from the stretch. Trying to place one in there. Goes for a ball.
Looked like it caught a corner of the plate to me, but not the best angle to judge inside and outside from up here.
Here comes the 1-0 pitch. Runner no go. Gave a little jump in the count now 2-0. And you do not want to see Ian Cook in the batters in the on deck circle make his way up.
Definitely not.
And it looks as though Gerard is just trying to place one in there, do anything to let Bontempo hit it. That is not the case right now.
Cook, of course, now on the mound for New Milford, but with that big 2 RBI single in the 5th to give New Milford the lead.
That one in there for a strike. So the count 3-1 to Bontempo as Gerard has got to fight his way back. 3-1 the score. New Milford on top, all 3 of those coming in the 5th inning. Here is the 3-1 pitch as that one sails up high. Goes for a walk. Second walk of the inning. And here comes Ian Cook.
And Frank, I think you've got to say is really the story of the day for Stamford has been the walks. I believe we counted 7 for, McKeever as he got the start. Now 2 in this inning for Gilbert, who also had a walk of his own in the 5th. Walks biting the Stamford Thunder every time they come up.
So we'll have a pitching change for the Thunder when we get back. We'll quickly step aside here on the HAN Network late in the night with Game 2 of our semifinal.
Mosquitoes, ticks, gone. Guaranteed. That's what Mosquito Squad guarantees as America's most trusted mosquito and tick control company. Locally owned and operated, over 90,000 homes have been protected by Mosquito Squad using their dual protection method for season-long protection, which includes barrier spray service for eliminating mosquitoes and adult ticks, as well as supplemental programs to increase tick control. They use only USDA organic options, which are safe and non-toxic. Contact them today at www.squadctny.com or 203-893-4309. Mosquito Squad. No bugs, no bites, no kidding.
You're watching the HAN Network, and you're not alone. Nearly 1 million people have watched our live sports, news, and entertainment programming since the network launched in August 2015. Advertise on the network that reaches Fairfield County, Connecticut's most engaged audience. Contact Advertising Director Jessica Murrin at 203-273-7312 or email jessica@han.network.
Top of the 7th inning here at Bobby Darling Field at Kubetta Stadium in Stamford Scalzi Park. A pitching change has been made for Stamford. It's number 17, Patrick Teasdale, coming in for James Gerard. So we'll close the book on Gerard. Teasdale inherits 2 runners, and he faces big Ian Cook, who swings at the first pitch, pokes one over to the right side. Will it stay fair? Yes, it does. Drops in there. Sending the runner home? No, he'll have to stop at third. As the old dying quail drops in on the right field line. Cook's on with a single, and the bases are now loaded for Jack Hayes, who is still wearing the HAN duct tape.
It was a long, long run for Matt from near second to try and make a play on that ball. He was the closest man to it, just not able to get there in time.
Teasdale from the stretch. Bases loaded. This one, curveball on the outside corner. Misses. Pitch coming over the heart of the plate. Strike one from Teasdale. The count 1-1 now to Hayes. The 1-1 pitch over the center again. Hayes disagrees. Count now 1-2. And if Teasdale can find a way to get this out, Stamford will have some life as we head to the bottom half of the final inning. 1-2 the count. Teasdale from the stretch with the bases loaded. The pitch, grounded to third. Actually to the shortstop there. Fielding it short, fires to first in time. Well done by Collazo. 2 walks, 1 hit, 3 men left on, no runs. We head to the bottom half of the 7th. 3-1 New Milford right after this on the HAN Network.
Walter Stewart's Market in New Canaan is your time-saving local shopping destination for the best of spring. Find many of your favorite products, from great specials on everyday full bouquet of spring flowers, and stop in next door for a wine tasting. Plus, their personable staff is always ready to lend a helping hand. So stop in to Walter Stewart's Market, 229 Elm Street today, or shop online at stewartsmarket.com.
For more than 50 years, Triple S has been Fairfield County's expert service for carpet, upholstery, and drapery cleaning. We provide the best in repairs and in-depth restoration, understanding fabrics and how to properly clean and restore them. Our staff will come to your home to clean your wall-to-wall carpet to perfection. We can also pick up your fine carpets and bring them to our facilities. With locations in Norwalk, Stamford, and Stratford, Triple S will get the job done fast, big or small. At Triple S, you can count on our people as well as our cleaning. Find us at triplesclean.com or 203-847-8000.
So 3 outs to go. New Milford with a 3-1 eyes on that championship game tomorrow against Waterford. The batting order for Stamford will be player TBD. We'll have to see if it's Teasdale or if they go with another pinch hitter here in the original Tucker Healy spot. But after that, you go to the top of the order. You've got Nash, Dawkins, and then Big J Lockwood if you can get to that 4th spot. Cook still on the mound for New Milford, looking to finish this one off.
And Frank, it looks like we will have a pitch hitter. It's Andrew Steitzel, who will be stepping in for Healy, Tamburi, Teasdale, Koufax,
Gerard,
Strawberry, Gerard.
You know,
you name it. This really is the utility spot of the order.
I'm pretty sure we're going to be able to make it back in time for the midnight showing of Doc and Daryl, the new 30 for 30.
That does actually look fairly interesting. I would like to see it.
It's one of the better ones I think we'll see, and I'm very excited to watch that later on, most likely this week at some point. As that first pitch in there for a strike, Cook comes back dealing right away, but now with a ball up high. You need to find a way to get 2 runs. What do you have to do, AJ, specifically if you're the first batter this inning?
Obvious thing to say, Frank, you got to get on base. You're not going to score. None of these guys are going to hit the ball out of the park. To score runs, you have to get men on base.
That one misses low. The count now 2-1. We again want to remind you we will have coverage from the Darien Sidewalk Sale tomorrow. Kate Chaplensky will anchor that throughout the day. A lot of exciting interviews with different shop owners scheduled for that. And we will be back here at Kubetta Stadium less than 24 hours from now for our 7 o'clock championship game tomorrow night between Waterford and the winner of this semifinal game here in the bottom of the 7th. This one cut on, fouled off. The count now 3-2 to Steitzel. New Milford leads 3-1. How we got there? Stamford picked up 1 in the first. They've been silent ever since. New Milford finally broke through in the 5th inning, scored all 3 then. Here's the 3-2 pitch from Cook. Steitzel cutting again. This one fouled off over the Stamford dugout.
Towards one of our HAN Network banners, having been lovingly placed there, I presume by Marty Hersom. It was here when I got here.
It may have been Chris Kutzko. They were very helpful and offered to put up some banners right at the entrance for when we walked in. Again, a special thanks to all the members of the Stamford Parks and Rec Department. As this one down low is a ball. So the leadoff runner is on with a walk, and we head to the top of the order. But again, we have to give a big shout out to everyone a part of the Stamford Parks and Rec Department, the grounds crew for what they did with the field today. It was absolutely incredible. All the league representatives and members of Stamford baseball who have been so incredible to us and so accommodating. It was an absolute blast being here for what has felt like 3 days, and we can't say it yet, but we are excited to come back in in half an hour tomorrow. So Nash comes up to the dish. He is 0 for 2 on the day with a walk. This one in there for a strike.
Nash also the lone run scored for the Stamford Thunder. Led off the game with a walk, stole second, sacrifice bunted himself over to third, and scored on a single from Gutman.
This one popped up to the left side, caroming through the trees and out into the parking lot. May have caught the cruiser as the count now 0-2.
Don't let Marty hear you say that.
This one fouled off again, and he's going right back at it. Oh.
Ooh. Concern from our director, Eric Gendron, about whether or not that was his car. I don't believe it is, Eric, unless you have bought what I think is a red Nissan Murano. Okay, he says no, that is not Eric's car.
That is why you don't park there and you hide it behind the cruiser. So the 0-2 pitch coming again. Steitzel on first. This one to Nash. Line down the left field line. Will it stay fair? It's right on the line. They call it fair. Steitzel held at second. Nash on at first. 2 runners on. Nobody out. Things are getting interesting here in Scalzi.
Stamford refusing to go away, and you get the feeling if that ball had been just a little bit more fair, Steitzel's on his way to third, and they've got first and third with nobody out.
And a big thing to remember now, Steitzel's got to appreciate his run does not matter. He cannot be caught doing something stupid here, get picked off, thrown out. He's got to be very sure it's not his run that's important. As we now see Dawkins, the right fielder, up to the dish. This one, a ball up high. As Cook is starting to fight it a little bit here late in the afternoon, late in the evening. It's late at night, I'm sorry. That one down low, 2-0 the count.
Before too long, he'll be fighting it early in the morning.
We're going to be very close to early in the morning soon.
Guys know any good diners around here? I go for some pancakes.
Two 2-0 the count. Dawkins taking his time, picking up signs. Steitzel on second. Nash on first. Neither runner being held on. Cook's pitch. Down low. The count now 3-0. And Big J Lockwood has got a big grin on his face right now in the on-deck circle.
As Dawkins nodding to himself in approval of the outside pitch here a little.
Here's the payoff pitch. That one in there for a strike. Dawkins taking all the way. 3-1 the count.
And that is really the smart move there. You don't want to swing it at 3-0, put the ball in play, and result in a double play.
That one down low in the dirt. The bases are loaded. 2 walks and a single later. And Jay Lockwood comes to the dish with the tying run on second. And we will have ourselves a meeting out at the mound. And we anticipate a pitching change coming here. We will step aside, take a quick break. We'll be back with all the substitutions and changes right after this on the HAN Network.
Have a sports injury or a slip and fall that needs immediate care? Coastal Ortho Express Urgent Care gives you direct access to an orthopedic specialist fast, without an appointment. Biking, golf, tennis, soccer, whatever the sports injury is, sprain or fracture, Coastal Ortho Express can help. Coastal Ortho Express Urgent Care, open Monday through Saturday, now in 2 locations. The iPark building at 761 Main Avenue in Norwalk and 36 Old Kings Highway South in Darien. Or go to coastalorthoexpress.com, like them on Facebook.
So no pitching change to be made. They stay with Cook. Lockwood at the dish. The Stamford fans have come back to life. A single could tie this one up, and a big cut there as Cook blows one by him.
Really just a quick meeting on the mound between Cook, his catcher, and the coach. Cook has been having some issues tonight footing on the mound.
That one misses low and away. Nobody out. Stamford with the heart of their order coming up. Lockwood at the dish right now. He is overdue at this point in time. 0 for 3 with a strikeout. The 1-1 pitch as Cook works from the windup. That one goes up high. Count now 2-1.
And Frank, I misspoke earlier. By my card, it was actually Lockwood who drove in Stamford's lone run at this point. I had earlier stated that it was Gutman.
So here's the 2-1 pitch. That one way up high. Good job there by Bontempo to grab that one in the glove, or else there might have been a run coming home early. But the count now 3-1 as Cook struggling to find the plate here late Thursday night in Game 2 of this doubleheader. (3-1) the count. Cook wasting no time. Here's the pitch. That one a ball outside.
Steitzel comes around to score for Stamford. Lockwood heads to first. Bases still loaded. Still nobody out.
And this is who they want at the plate right now. Collazo has been the best hitter far and away for them tonight. 2 big hits. He was robbed of a third one out in right field that he had big contact on. That was last inning, and that was against Cook, so he is on top of him. A single at this point in time could win the game. There is great speed out there on second, and Dawkins has got a giant lead. That one is ripped up the middle to center field. Dawkins being waved home. 1 run will score. The second run coming to the plate. The throw is not in time, and Stamford walks off. It took just 1 pitch. As Collazo went right back up the middle. Frustration and disappointment on the New Milford players. Jubilation on the Stamford side.
And Frank, unfortunately, it looks like Nick Bontempo is down. They are looking at his knee, at his left knee. It looks like Dawkins may have caught him as he came sliding home, made some sort of a contact with it. Coaches out there looking at him now. Of course, we never do want to speculate on what sort of an injury there could be. We hope everything is okay. There was some we'll just say words exchanged between the Stamford coaching staff and the staff from New Milford as Bontempo is still down. Stamford has taken a knee. As you said, Frank, the frustration on the faces of the New Milford players is evident even from up here. A truly heartbreaking loss for the team in the game, and we hope not for Nick Bontempo.
We will step aside here quickly, take one final break, tally up all the numbers. When we come back, we will put a bow on this whole day. Final in this one, though, it is Stamford 4, New Milford 3 on the HAN Network. We'll be right back.
I really wanted something that felt like a home. Coming from a big house, I wanted the feel of a home as opposed to a condo. The construction is incredible, whether it's the floors, the fireplace, the moldings, the lighting. It's as peaceful as my home was in the middle of the woods. It feels like a house. It does not feel like a condo or a townhome. I feel like I'm in my house.
Keep your future star active and happy this summer at Future Stars Sports Academy camps and clinics. The Academy is offering sessions throughout Fairfield County. Sign up for a week of basketball, cheerleading, football, or a multi-sports camp. At Future Stars Academy, children learn the fundamentals while under the supervision of qualified coaches. And what sets the Academy apart is its special Lessons of Life sessions, teaching values and focusing on building self-esteem, friendships, and honesty. Located at Sports Center Connecticut in Shelton and in Sports in Trumbull. Register online at futurestarsportsacademy.com.
You're watching the HAN Network, and you're not alone. Nearly 1 million people have watched our live sports, news, and entertainment programming since the network launched in August 2015. Advertise on the network that reaches Fairfield County, Connecticut's most engaged audience. Contact Advertising Director Jessica Murrin at 203-273-7312 or email jessica@han.network.
And we are back here at Kubetta Stadium in Stamford, Scalzi Park. Frank Granito and A.J. Simonowski, the final score in Game 2 of our doubleheader. Stanford comes back, scores 3 in the bottom of the 7th, and are able to walk off with a 4-3 victory to move on to the championship for a rematch against Waterford,
which has all the marks of being a good game. Waterford absolutely dominated Darien earlier this evening. Stamford tonight scratches out a win here in the bottom of the 7th inning as Colazzo comes up with the huge bases-loaded single, scoring Ben Nash and Jaden Dawkins. Some controversy on Dawkins sliding home. Nick Bontempo still down, being worked on by medical personnel. We hope everything is okay there. We got a great game to look forward to tomorrow.
It was a tremendous game tonight. We talked about how this was supposed to be the marquee game. We expected to be the better one. It lived up to the hype all the way till the end, even as it stands now at 11:40 o'clock at night, and that is going to be more than enough time for us. Don't forget, tomorrow you've got coverage all day with Kate Chaplinsky at the sidewalk sale. For Eric Gendron, A.J. Simonowski, Bill Bloxham, J.B. Cousins, Josh Fisher, Marty Hersom, I am Frank Granito. Final score in this one, Stamford 4, New Milford 3. They will take on Waterford tomorrow night at 7 o'clock here from Kubetta Stadium. We'll be on the call for that one on the HAN Network. Good night, everyone.